Welcome everybody to Crypto Rosetta. My name is Savage. Today we're going to be having a look at JASMY. Let's get into the charts and see what's going on. Okay, so what we're looking for here within our bullish count is the idea that this could be A, B, and then we're looking for this as a C wave, looking for this at 1272 as a potential target area, as well as that if we do look to move up high enough here towards this 2545, this would align with this actually turning into a bigger 5-wave structure to the upside, which would mean that we're actually trending from this low, and that would mean that we would potentially be starting a new run to the upside. Now we have actually come down to the 0854 like I said in the previous video. Now what I want to see is how we actually continue to progress to the upside. We want to see 5-wave structure developing here if we are looking at this potential for a break to the upside, and what we want to see is breaking back above some of these key highs here, this 511 and this area here of this 0801. Need to get back above these zones so we can invalidate the bearish counts that we've got currently. So if we are looking at this idea, what we want to see is in the short term here, what I'm looking out for is the potential that we could see this as a wave to the upside. We're looking at this as a WX and a Y. Now we have come down here already towards this 1-to-1. We've crossed this 0.618, so this could technically look to complete. The problem is internally this is quite messy here, so it is making it very difficult to read. There is a potential here that we could argue that this could be a W here, this is an X, and then we just have this as a Y over here, and instead of this being A, B, and C, that we could potentially look at this way. But I'm looking at this potentially as an A wave into this low. This is a B here, which could actually mean that we still have a little bit more downside to come here. So if we are looking at this in this way, invalidation of this comes by crossing this 395 here. And what I'd be looking for would be the possibility that we could see a 5-wave move to the downside, still looking towards the zone of this 339 and this 349 as a possible target area somewhere within this region, possibly bringing us back into the bottom of this channel. Now if we are looking at this, this would actually push us down towards the 786 and actually probably closer towards this 854, which is sitting here at the 0337. So going to be looking out for these lower areas here. If we see price fail to break back above this B wave here, now if we do break back above this B wave, we need to be cautious because we could still see something like this as an ABC, and then we still look to come back down afterwards, meaning that basically this Y wave is still not completed. It still wouldn't change these target areas really. It would just change how we're going to be coming down here. So we're going to go over this idea of this flat idea in a second, but if we do look to complete into some of these lows here, what we'd be looking for as an upside target would effectively be this is A, B, and C. So if we hold this low and we start to move to the upside here in a 5-wave move, our target would be here at this 00560. So this is considering we hold this current low. If we come down lower here, this will effectively change these target levels and would mean that we need to adjust these effectively once we actually move down into those zones. If, however, we start to see a move that pushes up past the 1.618 level, so that is actually taken from this low up into this high and then back down into this low, just in case it moves and you want to look at it yourself. Effectively, that 1618 is going to be the key level if we want to say that we're starting to develop this move as a 1, 2, 3, 4, and a 5. Now, if we get a 5-wave move up, we would be expecting at least another 5-wave move up in an ABC, which would potentially look to, take us above these highs and get rid of that idea. But honestly, if we start to form this as a bigger 5-wave structure to the upside like this, it becomes more likely that this is already looking for the idea that we could be looking for the C wave already. So we're going to have to keep an eye on this area of this 01272 as a possible target area if we do see price continue up here for a C wave. Alternatively, what we could do is form something like this as a 5-wave move, come back down, find support again, and then effectively would have this as 1, 2, this is 1, 2 here, and then we'd look for that third wave from that point. So that's how we'd want to build this so we can get out of this area here and look for that break to the upside. Now, until we actually develop good impulsive structure to the upside, what we need to be careful of is there is still potential here that within this structure we could have this as 1, 2, and we could actually be looking for a deeper move to the downside. Our 1618 would be here towards this zone of this 268 here, and what we'd be saying is internally here we're looking out for that potential that this is 1, 2 and 1, 2. Now this move to the upside here, we can potentially count it as a 5-wave move, so it is also possible that this could be A, B, and C, which would actually look to come back up here and invalidate this idea of this being a 1 and a 2 in this way. So that's going to be key here. If we stay below this 511, we need to be careful that we aren't starting to build structure here, looking to push us down towards this 219. If we see a push down towards this 219, this would start to confirm this count, in my opinion, and then we'd be looking for this as 1, 2, 3, 4, and then 5. So our key target then would be towards this 325 to this 265 as a possible fourth wave rejection area. We wouldn't want to interact with this low of this wave 1 though, so we're going to have to keep an eye on that if we do start to break down in that way. Now, looking at these shorter term moves here, what we need to be careful of is that we could count this as 1, 2 here, and effectively we could be looking for this lower 1618 starting to come out here, where we could actually start to fall away. 302 would be the target that would confirm the white count here, but what we'd need to see in the shorter term would actually be the yellow count look to confirm. So looking at this in this way, it is possible that within this structure we can have this 1 into this low point here. This is 2 and form 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 and start to break down in a bigger way. But we'd need to see this 308 get hit. So if we see 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 down into this 308, we'd be looking for a 3-wave move back up towards this zone of this 339, and then seeing an additional push to the downside here, looking at this 301 to this 290. Now, if we do see something along these lines, what this would then mean is that effectively this white third wave would actually come into this target box. We'd look for a fourth wave up, and then we'd still be looking for that continuation down. And, you know, this would look to invalidate that idea that we could be looking to push up directly from this zone, and becomes more likely then that, you know, we're going to actually see a sweep of the low. So ideally, we don't want to see a 5-wave move to the downside like this. If we are looking for that possibility of that break to the upside here, we need to see this low hold here towards this 317. We need to see price look to push away from this level. So that is the couple of the ways that we're looking at it. We do also have an alternative here, and if we just see this develop as A, B, and C to the upside, we still need to be very careful of this idea that we could have an X wave here, where this becomes A, we see A, B, C up, and then we still see that C wave back to the downside here, where we could see price look to push up towards a 646 to this 499, before still having, you know, continuation to the downside here one more time in this C wave. And now this would actually look to take this Y wave low here, and would mean that we could potentially be looking for this Z wave. But the Z wave, ideally what we'd want to see is a move down towards this 0.618. So if we do form something along these lines where effectively what we get here is this move as 3 waves down, what we'd have to be careful of is the idea that we could get 3 waves up and then another 3 waves to the downside, looking to complete that Z wave. So this is why we need to be careful here. We do still have that bullish count in play as long as we hold this 272 area. If we start to lose this, this could actually mean that we've got a lot more of a drop to come here. So we'll have to then see whether it starts to follow this idea of the corrective structure down or the impulsive one down, and then adjust those targets accordingly. Having a look at the daily CPR lines here, what we can see is that we are actually back above these central lines, which are sitting here towards this 377 to this 374 area. Now, if we do continue to hold this level, we could see price move back to the upside, in which case we would be looking for that possibility of moving up into this 389 area as a R1 target. We have 405 open for today, and this area of this 419 and this 436. So if we do see price start to rally here, we'll be keeping an eye on these target areas here. Some of them will have good confluence with some of these highs that we've got here. Particularly this top one here would actually be a retest of this high over here, so that would be quite interesting. If, however, we start to lose these central lines, we could see price actually be gravitated to the downside. Downside target still open for today is this 359. We have this level here of this 346, 329, and this 316 as possible downside targets for today. Now, moving over onto the weekly CPRs, what we can see is that we actually did come down through our S1 line already. Now we have come back to the upside here. If we move up towards this 389 to this 390 level, potentially we could still see a rejection off this zone. So we need to be careful of that idea of a rejection in this area. If we do look to reject, it could mean that we come back down to this 374, or alternatively deeper towards this 360 or this 345 as possible downside targets for this week. Now, price can always move through these, so we need to just be aware of that. If we do see price, however, reverse back to the upside here, potentially we could see a retest of this 404. We have this 420 and this level here of this 435 as potential upside targets. So going to be keeping an eye on these levels once again, coming back up into these highs over there. Now, if we have a look at the monthly pivots, what we can see here is that we are currently below our central line. So even if we do see a bigger move up here, which is why I say we have to be careful that this doesn't have something like this as an A, B, and a C, where we still look to push up higher. If we do look to push up towards this 417 to this 414 area, we could see price then start to reject to the downside, looking for that bigger third wave idea to come into play. So going to be watching out for this between this, like I said, 413 and this area of this 417. That could be potential resistance. If we do look to continue to break to the downside, 320 is going to be one of our targets for this month. We have this lower target of this 221, and then lower down here towards this 0126 is our lowest target. Now, we don't always have to hit these. What we could see is if we do move back above these, we could also see the potential that price could come back up into this 514 area. We have this 609 and this 707 as possible zones. So this R1 line would be quite an interesting level if we are looking at this. This would align with the idea here of something like this as this ABC pattern. So we'll be keeping an eye on this level if we do see price look to actually reverse to the upside here and we start to see some impulsive nature coming in. Okay, so I'm going to leave the video there. I hope you found it useful. If you did, please smash the like button, hit that subscribe button if you haven't already, turn on those bell notifications so you never miss a video. Leave us some feedback down below, and also in the description you will find a link to the Discord. Come check it out, it's free to join. Everyone have a great day. We'll see you in the next one. Take care.